In a small, quiet town just outside of Denver, Colorado, a young waitress named Emily worked long hours at a local diner. Life hadn't been easy for her. She juggled 2 jobs, helped her younger brother with schoolwork, and still managed to greet every customer with a smile. Despite barely scraping by on minimum wage and tips, Emily never hesitated to lend a hand to those in need, whether it was covering a coffee for a regular or offering her last $5 for a stranger's bus fare. She truly believed that kindness had a way of coming back around. One chilly Tuesday afternoon, as the lunch rush slowed, a man walked in. He wore worn-out jeans, a faded hoodie, and carried nothing but a small backpack. He looked tired, maybe even homeless. Emily greeted him kindly, offering him a warm booth near the window. Something about him seemed different, quiet, observant, yet humble. He asked for a menu and smiled politely, blending in like any other customer. Little did she know, this seemingly ordinary encounter would change her life forever. Emily poured the man a cup of coffee, and he thanked her with a soft smile. He took his time browsing the menu, eventually ordering a full steak dinner with mashed potatoes, grilled vegetables, and a slice of homemade apple pie. It was one of the most expensive meals on the menu, nearly $35 before tax. Emily raised an eyebrow but didn't say anything. She figured maybe he had some cash saved up or was just treating himself for once. After finishing every bite, the man folded his napkin carefully and looked up at her with a calm, steady gaze. "I'm really sorry," he said quietly. "I don't have any money to pay for this meal." Her heart sank. For a second, Emily felt panic rise in her chest. The owner of the diner had a strict no exceptions policy. Every unpaid bill came out of the server's tips, or worse, their paycheck. But as she looked into the man's tired eyes, she didn't see deceit. She saw dignity and quiet desperation. With a deep breath, Emily nodded. "It's okay," she whispered, forcing a smile. "I've got it." She pulled out a $40 tip she'd saved from the morning shift and covered the bill herself, hoping her kindness wouldn't cost her more than just money. Emily thought the situation was over, just another quiet act of kindness she'd carry with her and never mention again. But just a few minutes later, the diner's back door swung open, and Mr. Halbrook, the owner, stomped out holding the receipt like it was a ticket to war. His face was flushed with anger. "Emily!" he snapped, waving the paper in front of her. "You paid for that guy's meal. Are you out of your mind?" A few customers looked up from their booths, sensing the tension. Emily tried to stay calm. "He didn't have any money. I didn't want to make a scene or embarrass him. I used my tip money. It didn't cost you anything." But her words only made him angrier. "This isn't a soup kitchen," he shouted. "If you want to feed the homeless, do it on your own time. You think I can afford to let every sob story walk in here and get a free meal?" His voice was loud, sharp, and humiliating. "From now on, any nonsense like this comes straight out of your paycheck. And next time, don't bother showing up at all." The words hit hard. Emily felt a deep burn of shame and frustration, not for helping, but for being punished because she cared. Around her, the air felt heavier. Co-workers kept their heads down, pretending not to hear, too scared to speak up. That's when it truly hit her. This place wasn't just a job, it was a trap. And her kindness, in the eyes of her boss, was nothing more than a liability. Just as Mr. Halbrook turned to storm back into his office, the man Emily had helped stood up slowly, the clinking sound of his chair moving catching everyone's attention. The quiet hum of the diner seemed to fall silent as he walked toward the counter where Emily stood, still holding her breath from the earlier confrontation. The man's demeanor had shifted from weary and humble to confident and composed. He looked over at Mr. Halbrook, who was still muttering angrily to himself, before turning his attention back to Emily. "Actually," he said calmly, his voice now commanding attention, "there's something you should know." With a smooth motion, he pulled a crisp business card from a sleek black wallet and slid it across the counter toward her. "My name is Daniel Carter. I'm the founder and CEO of Carter Hospitality Group. We own over 40 restaurants nationwide, and we've got 5 right here in Colorado." The words hung in the air, and Emily froze. Her eyes widened, and she looked at the card in disbelief. The man she'd helped, the one she assumed had nothing to his name, was actually a successful businessman. Mr. Halbrook's face turned pale as he realized who he was speaking to. Daniel smiled warmly at Emily, his eyes kind. "I wasn't just here for lunch," he continued, his tone softer now. "I was here to see if I could find someone with real integrity, someone who would do the right thing even when it meant personal sacrifice. And what you did today, Emily, proves to me you've got that in spades." He reached into his jacket pocket and handed her another card, this one embossed with gold lettering. "I want to offer you a management position at one of our new locations. We'll give you full benefits, paid training, and the chance to lead a team that values kindness and respect. No one should ever have to work in an environment like the one you've been in." Emily took the card, her hands trembling slightly as the reality of the moment set in. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel like just another face behind a counter. She felt like someone who mattered, someone who could have a real future. The days that followed were like a dream come true for Emily. She handed in her resignation at the diner, a bittersweet moment where she realized she was finally breaking free from the toxic environment that had once felt like her only option. As she walked out of that door for the last time, she felt a wave of relief wash over her. No more harsh words from Mr. Halbrook, no more worrying about covering for others, and no more feeling like she was invisible. Her new job with Carter Hospitality Group was everything she'd hoped for and more. From the very first day, Daniel welcomed her with open arms, offering the support and training she needed to thrive. The team she worked with was kind, respectful, and genuinely appreciated the hard work she put in. She was promoted to a management position within a few months, and with each passing day, Emily grew more confident in her abilities. Her journey wasn't easy, there were long hours and challenges along the way, but the sense of fulfillment and purpose she now had made every moment worth it. Looking back, Emily realized how much her faith in doing the right thing had paid off. Her kindness had opened doors she never imagined, and she learned that sometimes, when you choose integrity over convenience, the universe has a way of rewarding you. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was thriving, and it felt good to know that doing the right thing could lead to something even better than she had ever dreamed.